lecture we are going to discuss different types of function and a brief introduction to the function. So first we have to know what is function and what is the requirement of function in C programming. So today's topic is function. So before we start function, we should know what is the requirement of using function in C programming. Function is basically a self-contained block of statement. What does it mean? A self-contained block of statement. In C programming, as per the problem, we may have to write a large program that consists of thousands or more than that statements. So if I assume it is a main program, in a main program we have written thousands of statements in a main program. Now whenever we will compile the program, after compilation we will get a list of error that occurs into the program. It may be a logical error, it may be some other errors may be there, but some errors may occur into this main program. Now in this large program we have to identify the point where basically the error occurs. Not only this, due to that error, logically the program, the statements depending on each other, there are multiple statements which is depending on each other. For example, here in one statement we generate the value of a variable which we are using in latter half of the program. It may happen that value of a is generated in this statement and that value of a we are using in other parts of the program. Now if there is any error into this statement, that means the value of a which we have generated that is wrong, then this wrong value will affect the whole program where we are using this value of a. So basically one statement is depending on another statement. So to identify the error and rectify the error in a large program is a very complex process. That is a very important point. Not only this, some statements are there which or some set of statements or functionality are there which may be required into the program multiple times. For example, a very simple, there is an addition operation. There is an addition operation. And this addition operation is a function basically. Addition is the operation, or you can say it is a functionality. This addition function or operation may be required into this program multiple times. May be required into this program multiple times, as it is a very large program. Now, whenever this function is required or this operation is required into the program, what we have to do? We have to perform this operation or write the instruction through which we are basically performing this operation multiple times in this program. Now here I have taken example of addition, which is a very small function. Using only one statement we can perform the addition operation. But in a large program it may happen there is a function, specific function, which for that particular function we have to write a statement of 100 or more than that instruction. A function that contains more than 100 instructions. Now if we perform that function in this main program multiple times, so that 100 instruction which is required to perform this operation we have to write multiple times in this program. Okay, so as this example I have taken, that it is the addition operation. Now what we do here we write x equal to y plus z. Again we have to write a equal to b plus c. Again here we have to write p equal to m plus n, and so on in that way. So if this addition operation is multiple times required into the program, we have to write this addition instruction repeatedly into the program. Okay. Now this addition is only a one instruction operation, but we have to write it multiple times. Now if we have selected some other operation, that operation required 100 number of instructions. So in that way we have to write those 100 instructions again and again into the program. Okay. So the program will become lengthy. The program will become lengthy, as well as a lengthy program will increase the complexity of the program also. So to overcome this problem, to make a program simpler, to make us reduce the complexity of a program, to make a program small in size. Basically, we use the concept of function. Now, how we can overcome this problem? By the concept of function. So what I have said, function is basically a self-contained block of statement which perform a specific task. So if this is my main program, okay, and what we have created, we have used function separately. We have created a function. That function is used for a specific purpose. This function has a specific purpose. This function has a specific task. Okay. So this is a self-contained block of statement. This is a block where we can write multiple statements within this function, and this function we can execute separately. Now what will happen? Whenever in this main program this specific task will be required, it may be addition, it may be subtraction, it may be factorial, it may be something else. Whatever the task is, whenever this specific task will be required into the main program, here we need not to write this statement repeatedly into the program. What we will do, we will just call the function. We will just call the function, and that function will get executed and it will give the proper output. So if we require this function or the specific task multiple times, instead of writing the whole code here into the main program, we will just call the function. So if the task is required 3 times into my program, for example, if this specific task is required 3 times into the program, what I have done? I have just called the function 3 times. And the responsibility of the function is performing the specific task and return the proper value to the main program. So that is the concept of function. So how we have overcome the problem here? Here you can see, if this function contains, for example, 10 statement, if I assume 10 statement, then if we are not using the function, so to perform this specific task 3 times, we have to write this 10 statements 3 times. So 30 statements will be required. 30 statements total we have to write to perform this specific task 3 times into the program. Okay. Now if we use the concept of function, so we write this 10 statements separately, and here we are just calling the function. So to call the function we use 3 statements. First statement to call this function, again when it is required, another statement we write to call the function. Here again we write another statement to call the function. So total how many statements are there? 10 statements to perform the task and 3 statements to call the function. So total 13 statements is required. So if we are not using the concept of function, we require 30 statements, and if we use the concept of function, we are required 13 statements. So you can see here we can reduce 17 number of statements by using this function. Now if the number of instructions within a function increases, and if the requirement of the function in the main program or any part of the program increases, then this difference will also increase. Okay. So that is the advantage of function. Using this concept, we can reduce the size of a program as well as we can reduce the complexity of a program. Now, in the point of view of error finding and detecting and correction, error detection. So, if we face a problem in this particular specific task, that we have identified that due to this task we are not getting the proper output, but other part of the program is working properly. All other statements, other tasks are working properly. Only this specific task is giving, we are getting some runtime error or compile time error, whatever it is. We are fetching problem or fetching error only in this specific task. So to find out the error, basically we need not to go to the main program. We need not to go through all the statements of the main program. As we know, for this specific task, we have created a separate function. For this specific task, we have created a separate function. So we will just go through this function. We will just go through this function. We will find out the error in this particular function, and whatever error is there, we will rectify that, and again we will compile that. So from the main program, we need not to, if the main program consists of 1000 number of statements, we need not to read all that 1000 statements. We have to read only this specific statements which is within this function. We can find out the error from this specific function, and we can rectify the error which will affect the main program also, and we can overcome the problem. So here you can see that finding out the error becomes easy, where we can find out from a particular block, and rectify the error also become very easy due to this use of function, where we are separately performing the specific task. Now the next is how the function get executed into the program, the flow of execution of function. So this is my main program, okay, and this is function 1. This is function 1. So from the main program, we call function 1. So basically here we get two functions. One is main and another one is function 1. One is main, that is also a function. This is another function that we have created, okay. So every program, as we know, that without main no program can be executed. That means every program must have minimum one function. Every program must have minimum one function, that is main function. Now others function that is not required, that is depending on the programmer, that is depending on the problem. Depending on that we can create the function. Now two functions we have done. Main is called, in this scenario, in this example, main is called the calling function, and function 1 will be called as called function. So two functions we get into the program. One is calling function, the other one is called function. Okay. So why it is calling function? Because inside the main we have called the function. Okay. Inside the main we have called the function. That's why main is called the calling function, and the function 1 which we require, which functionality we are using in this main program, that is called the call function. So basically two functions are there, calling and call in this example. Now what will happen? Before main some statements are there, and after calling there are some statements, if I say. Okay. Now what will happen? The compiler will always start the program from the main. The compiler will always start the program from the main and always terminate the program here. So it is the entry point of the program and it is the termination of the program. So the compiler will enter into the main first. It will execute this statement. Sequential execution will be there if we are not using any branching or looping statement. So this is a sequential execution. So first it will execute this statement, then it will execute this statement. After that, whenever we are calling a function, the program control will jump to that function. The program control will jump to that function. So this is 1, this is 2, then it will jump here. This is 3. Okay. So it will jump to that particular function, wherever it is. It may be before, it may be before main, it may be after main. Wherever it is into the program, it will jump to that particular function, and it will execute this function. Okay. So there are 4 statements. It will execute sequentially. Statement 4, 5, 6, 7. And whenever the function will be completed, whenever the execution of the function will complete, So here we have completed the function execution. So from here again it will return the control to the main program. Again it will return the control to the main program. Where it will return? It will return to that particular problem where it has jumped. It will return to that particular point from where it has jumped. So it will return here. So next statement this will be executed, next this will be executed, and then it will end the compiler. So that is the flow of execution of any function. Whenever we call a function, from the calling function, it will jump to the call function, it will execute the call function. After completion of the call function, again it will return to the calling function. Okay. Now not necessarily always we have to call the function from the main. We can call a function from another function also. That I will show. So you can see from the main here I am calling function 1. So this is my function 1. Now within function 1 we can call another function. So this is my function 2. So in this program we have taken basically three functions: main, function 1 and function 2. Okay. And I have said always the program will start from main. Always the program will start from main function. So first it will enter into the main function. So this statement will execute, this statement will execute. After that, whenever function 1 will be called, as I have said, it will jump to that particular function. It will jump to the particular function. Then it will execute the function where it has jumped. So function 1 will start execution. Now after these three statements, again we are calling another function. So from here it will jump to function 2 again. From here it will jump to function 2 again. So we have started from main, from here we come to function 1. While executing function 1 we have used another function. Now we are in function 2. Now we have inserted into function 2. So here it will execute this 4 statement that we have inside the function. Now after completion of function 2, where it will return, that is the question. After completion of function 2, where it will return? I have said that after completion of a function, it will return to its calling function. It will return to its calling function. So here main is the calling function and function 1 is the call function. But here if you look at this function, here function 1 will become the calling function and function 2 is the call function. Okay. So for this calling function, call function gets changed because function 2 we have called within the function 1, or we can say function 1 is calling function 2. That means after executing function 2, it will return to its calling function. It will return to its calling function. So its calling function is function 1 and it has jumped from this point. So after execution it will jump here. After execution it will jump to the same point from where it has stopped. So after returning it will execute this statement. After it will execute the statement which is within function 1. Now when function 1 is completed, where it will jump? Now for this function 1, main is the calling function. For function, whenever it is completed, for this whole function, main is the calling function, because the function 1 we have basically called from function 1, main. So it will return here from where it has jumped again. So it will execute 15, 16 and stop. So that is the way how the function gets executed. So main point is that whenever we are calling a function, it will jump to that particular function. After execution of the function, it will always return to its calling function. Now main may be the calling function, another function may be the calling function. So that is the way how we are basically executing a function into C program. So from this what we can summarize, that function which is a self-contained block of statement that can perform a specific task, and from a program whenever that specific task will be required, to perform the specific task we need not to write the instructions multiple times. We can call that block of statement which we have already created to perform the specific task will be called from the function, and from there we will get the output that we can use in the main or in the calling function. In that way we can use the function so to reduce the complexity, to reduce the size of the program. Now in C programming we are dealing with different types of functions are there. Some functions are called library function, some functions are called user defined function. So basically we have different types of function, that is library function and user defined function. Library function, what is the library function? Printf, scanf, square root, pow function. So these all are basically example of library function. Why these functions are called library function? Because these functions are predefined within the library. We are using those header files stdio.h, conao.h, math.h, etc. We using those header file we can use this function, and these functions are predefined within the header file. The function is basically linked from the header file, we can use the function. Now the syntax of this function is also predefined, we cannot change it. That means printf, then we have to use this parenthesis, we have to use the colon, with inside that we have to write it, scanf for the pow function. So whatever basically the syntax of these functions are, what is the purpose of the function is, everything is written within the library. In a single sentence we can say the definition or the purpose or the definition of the function is written within the library. That's why these functions are library function. We cannot change this library function, we cannot change the syntax of the library function into our program. We have to use the syntax, we have to use those definitions, we have to follow the definition which is already defined into the library. That's why these functions are called library function. So here we are not going to discuss too much because these functions are predefined. But what is user defined function? That is the main point. User defined function means these functions we can create depending on the requirement of the program, and these functions should have a specific task, and this specific task will be assigned by the programmer to that particular function. As example of user defined function is main. Main is a user defined function that we are already using into our program. That is a user defined function. Okay. Another function, for example, we are performing addition operation. So for that we can create a function called add. We can create a function called add. For multiplication we can create a function for multiplication. For example, we want to find out factorial. For that we can create a function called fact. So in that way these functions are not predefined into the library. These functions we the programmer are creating depending on the requirement. This add function we have created for addition. This multiple function we have created for multiplication. Fact we have created for factorial. So every function has a specific task, and this specific task, what specific task this function is going to perform, that is defined by the programmer. How, what type of input the function will take, what type of output the function will generate, everything of the function, every details of the function will be defined by the user, by the programmer, not the user, by the programmer. That's why these functions are called user defined function. So in the further lectures we are going to basically discuss all the features of the user defined functions.
So in this section we are basically going to discuss the flow of function. As already we have discussed in the lecture that what function is. Function is basically a self-contained block of statement where we can create a function, and as per the requirement we can call the function to perform a specific task that the function is performing. Now here in this lecture I will show, in this video I will show how the function works or what is the flow of the function. So for that purpose I have created different functions like this, function 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 functions I have created. This is my main function. Now these functions are basically user defined function as we have created this function. The compiler always start compiling the program from main. So wherever the function or how many functions are there, the compiler will always start the program compilation from the main. So this is my beginning of the main and this is the end of the main. So the compiler will start the execution here and the compiler will end the execution here. Now whatever functions we are using, we have to initiate calling the function within the main. We have to start calling the function within the main. Now this you can see, this is a printf statement. So printf is also a function. Printf is also a function, but this function is a library function. As we have used a header file here, stdio.h, that is standard input output header file. So within this header file already this printf function is existing, and as you can see, whenever I am clicking on the printf function, it is giving a specific int printf, then constant character, like this. So it is specific, giving a specific format or syntax for this printf function, and this syntax is predefined within the function definition. This syntax is predefined within the function definition. That's why this printf function is called library function. But if I create on this function 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see we are not getting any syntax here because these functions are not written. As you can see, the syntax it is giving, whatever we have written here, it is similar to that. It is similar to that. So that function we have defined, we can see it here. But whenever we are coming here, it is giving some syntax. Okay, so that is the difference between library function and user defined function. Now coming back to the main function, so that I have said that compilation will start here and the compilation will end here. Now what will happen, as soon as we call a particular function, as you can see here I am calling function 1, here I am calling function 1. So as soon as I call the function, what will happen, the compiler or the control of the program, basically the control of the program will jump from this point to the function declaration. So this is my function declaration. Here I have created the function. This is the opening of function 1, this is the closing of function 1. This is the opening and closing of function 1. So whenever we call function 1, the control will jump to function 1. It will execute the function. Whatever statements are here, as you can see here in this function I have 3 statements I have used. So it will execute the 3 statement and again it will get back to the calling function. Now what is called function and what is calling function? As you can see, this function 1 we are calling from main. So function 1 we have called inside the scope of main. So main is called the calling function and function 1 is called function, as main is calling function 1. So what will happen, after completion of function 1, it will get back to the called function. That means it will, from here the control will again get back to the main function. Now it will come back to the main function and then again here we are calling another function, function 4. So again it will jump from here to function 4. From here it will jump to function 4. And after completion of function 4, again it will get back to the main function. That is it. Now as you see, when we come to function 1, as we are calling function 1 and the control comes to function 1, what happens? In function 1, we have called another function that is called function 2. We have called another function that is called function 2. So I have said, whenever we will call a function, the control of the program will immediately jump to that particular function. So as I am calling function 2 here, immediately the control will jump to function 2. As you can see, this is my function 2. This is my function 2. So it control will jump to function 2. So from main we come to function 1. From function 1 we are coming to function 2. Now after execution here we execute function 2. Now inside function 2 again we are calling another function that is called function 3. Okay, we are calling another function that is called function 3. So as soon as we call function 3, again the control of the program will jump to function 3. Okay, so it will execute function 3 and this is the end. So at the completion of function 3, where it will return, that is the question. So as you can see, we have called function 3 from function 2. So after completion of this, it will obviously come back to this point, this printf statement. I am highlighting this, it will execute this printf statement. So function 3, here we have called function 3, it jumps to function 3, execute it, and after execution it will get back to the calling function again. Similarly, here we complete function 2. So after completion of function 2, where it will get back? It will get back to function 1, because function 2 we have called from function 1. And after executing this printf, again function 1 ends. So at the end of function 1, it will get back to this printf statement, because function 1 we have called from main. So as you can see that after executing a particular function, it will get back to its calling function. Not necessarily after executing a function it will always return to main. No, after executing a function it will always return to its calling function from where we have basically called it. It may be another user defined function also. Okay, so after coming here, again I am calling function 4. So after this printf statement, it will directly go to function 4 and execute it. So let me explain it from the output. So let's see, compare the output and this. Okay. So as you can see, this printf statement we are first getting execute. That's why we are getting main function printed here. After that, it comes to function 1. So when it is printing function 1, so as you can see, this printf statement is being executed. That means from here the control has transferred to this. Okay. So that's why function 1 get printed. Now from here, what statement we are getting? Function 2. So where function 2 is? Here is function 2. So as you can see, as soon as we have called function 2, it has jumped to function 2 and this printf statement is being executed. After that, it is executing function 3. So you will see that function 3, so now it comes to function 3. So from main we come to function 1, from function 1 we come to function 2, from function 2 we come to function 3. Now after execution of function 3, where it will go? That you can see, back to function 2. So from here it comes to, it get back to function 2. Why it is getting back to function 2? Because function 3 has been called from function 2. And after execution of function 2, it get back to function 1. Now we are back to function 1 because function 2 has been called from function 1. Okay. And after completion of function 1, back to main, because function 1 we have called from main. Now after getting back to main, again we are calling function 4, so it will come to function 4. And after execution of function 4, as you can see, after execution of this function, where it will go? It will again return to main, because function 4 we have called from main. So at the end, again it back to main. Okay. So from this program and from this output, basically what I want to say, or what we can summarize, is that whenever we are calling a function, the control of the program will immediately jump to that particular function and it will execute the function completely. After completion of that particular function, it will get back to the calling function, or from where it will get back to the point from where it has been called. So that is the basic flow of function.